Really? Like, are we getting to that point in the world where we can't even honour that sacred part of our life, our sexuality? That we have to be kind of making it this weird, warped, outside of us thing where we've got to have it with a device, a slower, more pleasurable. But definitely still being able to enjoy my sexuality for myself and then enjoying it with my husband. That shouldn't change at any age and stage. In fact, it should just get better and better. And better doesn't always look like harder and faster and wilder. As you get older, slower, more pleasurable, more intimacy, more beautiful connecting practices before they throw you up against the wall, or that I see, you know, they portray sex. I know, like
on television. Watch out, drop them in, go.
That's right. Over in 2 minutes. It's kind of like, it's interesting because most women I ask about that, they say, the clients I work with over the years say, oh yeah, a bit of that's good sometimes. But sometimes I just wish they would give me like 45 minutes to warm me up on my vulva so everything's all ready and plump for pleasure. Or we could do some kissing and connecting and, sharing beautiful, what I love about you and all of that kind of thing. That's foreplay for a woman's body. And it's kind of like they crave for that. But because we grow up, watching sex on television. I don't have anything against porn. I think there is ethical porn and there's porn for women, which is quite beautiful. I think that we should be allowed our fantasies and things, but what I don't like about porn is it's not real. And the women in porn often have their labias plastic surgery. They bleach their anus because they want it to look as good as their face.
They bleach their anus?
Yeah, so it's like white instead of being a little purple or a little pink or whatever. So when women particularly watch porn, young girls, I can remember a client came. She was, I think she was 19. She'd met a boy. He hooked her up to a porn site. He sent her an internal vibrator and he told her to learn how to have good sex and then they could have sex together. And she was traumatized. That's why she came to me for some sex education. So she was just, because she said, looking at that porn, I thought there's no way I can do that.
But why would a young fellow tell a young woman to do that?
Because that's how they grow up.
Oh. Wow.
Right? It's like I said to you when I came here today, I'm just so shocked over that Elon Musk app for 8-year-old boys. Like, really? Like, are we getting to that point in the world where we can't even honour that sacred part of our life, our sexuality? That we have to be kind of making it this weird, warped, outside of us thing where we've got to have it with a device,
but have no understanding of the body and how it works.
Well, what I do know as a clinical hypnotherapist is our brain isn't mature until we're 28. So how could an 8-year-old how could an 8-year-old wire his sexual brain to his body when his brain actually isn't even fully developed?
Oh, that's scary.
It is scary.
That is so scary.
And those things, Faye, are what drive me.
Yeah.
These days it's more about my training up women. I've trained them all over the world now, in Europe, in Asia, and so that they can be offering this kind of work, this educational holistic sexology, this integrative pelvic health, and the beautiful practices that I teach, for people in coupleship or throupleship, or, I'm try to be as sex positive as I can, which is challenging for someone my age because I didn't grow up with that, but I've learnt to stay open and curious. And I definitely have expanded my brain.
Well, I think with all the experiences and everything, and, I remember way back when you were doing hypnotherapy and working with clients and things like that, and we did circles and all that sort
all
of
my
stuff.
Beautiful women's work. I miss that.
Yeah.
I do miss it, but now I've got other women out there doing that, which is really beautiful. I love seeing them. I love seeing them weaving the fembodiment method in and creating their work as well.
Yes.
Because I've made the training so that I do like them to stick to the purity of the work, but I'm more than happy for them to weave it with other modalities or other skills that they bring to it. I mean, network, what do they call it now? The network marketing.
Oh, yes.
I've trained up women in that area, and they're weaving it through retreats that they bring their teams together and teaching them how to balance their masculine and feminine energy, how to have brain chemistry to all of their body. Because when you have brain chemistry to all of your body, it's like you become your own person. And you don't follow like sheep, and, like those women are difficult. I'm very proud of being difficult.
Well, I'm probably difficult. I'm probably difficult as well. But, coming home to your own, coming home to who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
And most of us aren't there. Most of us aren't there.
And creating creating beautiful relationships in your life, whether that's with friends, your partners, or whether it's in your business.
Yeah.
I'm a whole person.
Yeah.
So when you're whole, you don't have to wear masks.
Well, and, you just look at social media, how many masks are being worn?
Yeah.
How many masks are being worn by people there? They have to prove something to everybody else. The only one they have to prove it to is themselves.
Correct.
And they have to drop those masks and be real. And
I think that's what makes you magnetic. Like, I cultivate my sexual energy, first of all, for my longevity, my health, my well-being, because, you create all the feel-good hormones when you, dare I say it, self-pleasure.
What did you say? Self-pleasure. Yes.
There's a button on our bodies that is only there, and it creates oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. Mm-hmm. That's a natural antidepressant.
Wow, how many people need a natural antidepressant?
Well, it doesn't do anything. It's not there to birth from. It's not there for eliminating anything from your body. It's purely there for pleasure. But you think about it, through centuries, it's been frowned upon. In both, in penises, vulvas, we're just not meant to touch and feel pleasure, because goodness me, we might become know thyself specialists if we do that, and then we wouldn't be as easily controlled.
We'd be more difficult.
That's right, we'd all be difficult, but we'd be all difficult together, making a better world.
Oh gosh, yes.
But no, even, I'm joking, but I have read some information now that even counsellors, psychologists working with women are understanding the chemical makeup and the biology, and actually even inviting their clients, maybe not to self-pleasure, but to go and see someone like me, a sexologist or a sexuality coach, because I teach mindful self-pleasure, so that doesn't look like what most people think.
So explain that, mindful.
So it's a practice. You actually set an intention, you work out what part of your body you're going to work with. You set up the space and then you journal at the end what you felt in your body. So it's mindful. And sometimes self-pleasure might be to soothe sadness or stress. Sometimes it might be just to purely have an orgasm and feel pleasure. Sometimes it might be to learn how to hold that energy in the pelvis and then move it through your whole body with breath, which then becomes a whole body orgasm. And sometimes it's stress release.
Yeah.
And for some of my clients, it's actually used as a way of releasing anger, pent up stress. I mean, women going perimenopause and going through menopause, we hold a lot of our emotions change, and things we haven't resolved in our life can build up in our body, and that's when they come out sometimes as frustration, anger, all that heat in your body. And so self-pleasure can be used as a way, a safer way in the privacy of your home where you can do that, where there's no judgment of being too loud, too angry, too whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a self-tool.
And I was going to say respect, but it's not even that. It's a kindness and a caring for who you are.
Yeah.
And bringing yourself back to a space where you feel comfortable, you're relaxed, you can go and do things, your mind has more clarity, those sorts of things.
If you go on camera after you've self-pleasured, I'm here to tell you, you are one magnetic woman. Because when all those hormones are moving through you, you do. You know, like I know as a clinical hypnotherapist that it is a state change.
Yeah.
Right? And it cultivates pleasure most of the time. So pleasure is like uplifting.
And you should never feel guilty about it.
I don't. I self-pleasure every day. It's part of my health regime.
But women shouldn't feel guilty about wanting to do
Or
self-pleasure.
men.
Or men.
Men. I mean,
men would do it more than women anyway, wouldn't they?
Well, I think that if you grew up every morning with an erection and you thought the only way it could go down would be that it needed to be relieved, which is actually not true. There are pressure points on the body, on the feet that you can push and it would go down.
Right.
Education,
yeah.
But yes, of course. And let's face it, they have incredible brain chemistry. Oh, I can see it. Oh, I can feel it. Neural pathways firing in the brain. Yeah, of course. But I do know in the Taoist traditions that for a penis masturbating every day, they lose energy as well. So a couple of times a week is probably better. But for women, we actually cultivate energy, which gives us more energy.
Okay.
So particularly if you learn how to not just, let go, you learn how to build, slow down. And then once you build all that sensation and feeling, then start to move your breath so that you spill it through your whole body. And then it just turns into a bit like after you've had a massage, you feel really yummy and relaxed and amazing.
Like you're floating.
And glowy, and you look glowy, you feel glowy.
Yeah.
And some of my clients have used the 21-day mindful. Actually, I do a longer one, and they get different choreography each day.
What do you mean by choreography?
Well, I give them a structured practice, which doesn't involve necessarily the clitoris. It could involve movement, it could involve breath, it could involve sound, it could involve dancing, all different things.
Right.
And I've had clients who have released smoking that way. And for years, I only ever did clinical hypnotherapy for smoking and weight loss. I've had clients lose weight. I've had clients use it to build self-confidence. So to me, your sexuality is a very underused self-tool. It's really used a lot for somebody else, to attract somebody else, to give somebody else pleasure, whereas I've really learned how to cultivate it for myself, for the better of myself, actually.
Yeah. And now you're teaching it
Yeah.
to others who can then teach it to others.
And I've tried to, I'm a big one for taking, I really like to take complicated structure and turn it into a simple practice.
Oh, yeah, you don't need complicated.
That is micro. So you could do it for like 5 or 10 minutes before you got out of bed. Or, you know, I do my breast massage while I'm cleaning my teeth, because I believe that we all live full lives. And once you start adding something in that is going to be like, oh, I don't have half an hour. So I've tried, my whole training is about practices and processes that fit in with your life.
Yeah.
And then you can take into, you know, your sex life as well.
And you can take it anywhere, wherever you go.
Well, your sexuality goes everywhere where you go.
Yeah.
You don't leave it outside the room. I know people think we do, but you actually don't.
But it, you know, when you're aware of it,
Yeah.
it's a part of you
Yeah.
that can go anywhere.
It's a life force.
Yeah.
I just look at it this way, that I brought all of me here today, and I feel excited, I feel vibrant, I feel curious and open. I'm loving this conversation. I'm feeling the arousal of that. That's my core erotic theme. I know my erotic intelligence, and I don't leave that behind anymore either.
Oh, God. Well, you have to teach me.
I think you've got a bit of it already. Faye.
I have to, you know, I think that being aware of this,
Yeah.
and then going and learning more about it so that you can have a better appreciation.
Education is everything. That's why these days, particularly with my training, I am an educator. You know, I believe, I'm a big believer in the structure I use is I gather people, I create agency and safety, then I educate them, then I watch them embody it, bringing in hypnotherapy, bringing in embodiment, and then bringing in, because I particularly work with women, the connection to their pelvis. Because once you get reconnected to your pelvis, your genitals, I've tried all sorts of ways to be confident in life. But walking around and having an awareness of the pleasure that I feel in my body when I'm walking around, there's really, nobody can teach me that. I had to learn that myself, and it's quite delicious. And you can see people that are more in their full bodies. I love the mind, because the mind helped me when I was sick years ago, using clinical hypnotherapy, creating a whole new organ in my body. I mean, I so believe in it. But I also believe that not only keeping myself half a person and being this big heart that walked around. Now I've connected to my inner authority, my inner power, my creativity. I mean, I was born in this earth with a pelvic bowl.
Me
Why
too.
why wouldn't you be using it?
Well, and it is education, and that's why I said it needs to be taught in the schools, but maybe it's a different way of teaching them and then bringing them out.
Oh, I would, if I had years behind me now, and I don't, but I'm hoping some of my facilitators will run mum and daughter work.
That would be amazing.
They're old enough to, because we teach girls about their period.
Understand.
But we don't teach them about their anatomy.
No.
And what happens and what it looks like in a mirror when you touch different parts of your anatomy. It changes colour, it engorges, so that they actually have brain chemistry to perhaps what somebody else gets to look at. Right? And there's something powerful about that. I know what I look like. It's a concept that a lot of clients come to me and say, oh, can you explain what the mapping process and working with the mirror and all of that is? And I go, I can, but your body has no concept of it. So your brain will be going like 100 miles an hour going, oh my God, really? No, I can't do that. So what I do is I explain it to them in the first session, and then when they come for the next session, I check in with them again Have you got any burning questions? And they're like, no, I'm nervous, but let's do it. And then halfway through the process that I do, they're like, oh my God, Jenny, why all women need to know this?
Yes.
Because they're in their own process. I'm not doing anything. I stand back here, the mirror's set up with the light. I've got the diagrams. We're going through, finding all the bits. They're finding all the bits. They're touching their own body. They're watching what happens to their body when that's palpated for a little while. Even looking at your vulva, it already starts to change. So there's power in that, because they walk out going, oh my God, I did that myself. Because I have some idea I'm going to do something, but I don't. And I give choices. Which chair do you want to sit in? You okay on the bed that way? Would you like to be sit? And half the time they go, oh, I don't know. I go, well, you may not know, but let's think about this. How's your body going to be the most comfortable? Like, that's education. And yes, I think that it would be good if I could take it into schools, but you know what I would think would be better? If I could educate their mums,
Yes.
and their mums could do that with them.
Yes. Yes.
Because I actually think it starts at home.
It does. It definitely starts at
It
home.
does. You know, like sit in the bath with your daughter when she's old enough and sit opposite ends. And did you know that's this? And did you know that's your Bartholomew gland? Did you know that's your inner lips and your outer lips, right?
Yeah.
And let her find them. And let her see, comments like, oh, well, will mine look like that when I'm your age? No, because all genitals are different. You'll have your own unique look. It will be the same organ, but it won't necessarily look the same as me. That's real education.
It was a bit like Mona when it first opened. It had all the vaginas on the walls, and they were taken.
I know, I've seen them.
Yeah, and hundreds of them, all different sizes, different shapes and everything like that. And some people accepted that wall, and some people thought, that's not right, blah, blah, blah. But it's really interesting to think back there, because I'd seen them as well, and thinking, wow, how many different types of vaginas are there?
There's a fabulous place, I think it was in Collingwood, and it's new, and it's like an installation, an art installation, but you actually walk through the opening of a vulva.
Oh, really?
It's called, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but it was great. You go in there, and then there's like just a whole wall of them in art, all been painted. They're like portraits,
right? But
they're actually different vulvas,
right?
And you kind of look at it, and at first, you go, wow, because your brain's like going into judgment, and you go, oh, that looks like an orchid. Oh, how beautiful is that one? Everything's like tucked in. But that one, it's all tucked out, and it's like you can actually start to feel your brain changing. And getting out of that patriarchal, oh, no, you can't show anybody that.
Yeah.
Because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing that kind of session and my client's got the mirror in front, I take them through a series of reflective questions. Like, when you look at that, what do you think other people see? Right? Because they're all the programs that we run. And half the women say, well, I've never looked at it, but I have run that program. I've gone, oh, why does my partner want to do that? Because it's like, really? I wouldn't want to do that. And it's like, but then when they see it in the mirror, and after a while, I wait, and then I get to a point and I say, what do you see? If you compared yourself to a flower, what would it be? And I can see them like going, oh yeah, it does look a bit like it. And then they start, and then by the end of it, they.
Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram. Changing lives, one conversation at a time.